Lost in the wilderness, no tools, no matches, no phone, just you and nature. These ancient techniques kept humans alive for 200,000 years, and they still work. Today, I'm Michael, and I'm about to show you primitive survival skills that could literally save your life. Stay until the end, because the water purification method I'll show you works better than most modern filters. Fire without matches. The skill that separates life from death. Fire is survival. Without it, you're dead within 3 days in most climates. So let's start with the most important skill, making fire with absolutely nothing. The bow drill method is what Native Americans perfected over thousands of years. Here's how it works. You need 4 components: a fireboard, a spindle, a bow, and a bearing block. The fireboard is a flat piece of softwood like cedar, willow, or cottonwood. You carve a small depression near the edge and cut a V-shaped notch leading to it. This is where the ember will form. The spindle is a straight stick about the diameter of your thumb. You sharpen one end to a point and leave the other end blunter. This spins in the depression. The bow is a curved stick with cordage. Could be shoelaces, plant fibers, or even strips of bark twisted into rope. You loop this around the spindle. The bearing block is a piece of hardwood or stone that you hold in your hand to apply downward pressure on top of the spindle. Here's the technique. Place the spindle in the depression, wrap the bowstring around it once, and start sawing back and forth. The friction creates heat. Keep going until you see smoke, then smell burning wood, then see a glowing ember forming in the notch. Carefully tap this ember onto a bundle of tinder, dry grass, shredded bark, or fluffy seed heads. Blow gently and watch it burst into flame. This takes practice, but once you master it, you can make fire in any conduit. Ion. Water, the 3-day deadline. You can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. Finding and purifying water is critical. Ancient people had techniques we've forgotten. Here's one that actually works better than boiling in some situations. Solar water disinfection. Find a clear container, even a plastic bottle or a piece of clear ice work. Fill it with water and set it in direct sunlight for at least 6 hours. The UV rays kill bacteria, viruses, and parasites. This technique has been scientifically proven to work. But what if you don't have a container? Here's an ancient technique, the transpiration bag. Find a leafy tree branch, wrap a plastic bag or any waterproof material around it, and tie it off. As the tree respires, clean drinkable water collects in the bag. You can harvest up to 1 liter per day this way. The charcoal filter method is brilliant. Ancient peoples discovered that charcoal purifies water. Create layers in a container. Crush charcoal on bottom, then sand, then gravel, then grass. Pour water through this and it comes out clean. Charcoal absorbs toxins, bacteria, and bad tastes. For finding water, observe animals. Follow animal tracks. They always lead to water. Watch birds at dawn and dusk. They fly toward water. Look for green vegetation in otherwise dry areas. Dig in the outside bend of dried-up stream beds. Shelter. Your protection from the elements. Exposure kills faster than starvation. You need shelter, and ancient people were masters at building it with nothing but natural materials. The debris hut is the ultimate emergency shelter. Find 2 forked sticks and 1 long ridgepole. Create an A-frame by leaning the ridgepole against a tree or between the 2 forked sticks stuck in the ground. Now, pile debris, leaves, grass, bark, pine needles onto this frame. You want it at least 2 feet thick on all sides. This creates an insulation layer that traps your body heat. Make the entrance small, just big enough to crawl through, and stuff it with more debris when you're inside. In freezing temperatures, this shelter can be 20-30 degrees warmer inside than outside. The wickiup is another ancient technique. Create a conical frame with long poles leaned together and tied at the top. Cover this with bark, grass, or hides. This design sheds rain and snow effectively and can house multiple people. For ground insulation, never sleep directly on the earth. Create a thick bed of dry leaves, grass, or pine boughs. This prevents heat loss through conduction and could save your life in cold conditions. Food, foraging, like ancient humans. Finding food in the wild separated successful survivors from those who starved. Ancient people knew every edible plant in their environment. The universal edibility test is crucial. Take a small piece of plant and rub it on your skin. Wait 15 minutes for irritation. If clear, touch it to your lips. Wait 15 minutes. Then place it on your tongue. Wait 15 minutes. Then chew and spit out. Wait again. Only if you pass all these stages should you swallow a small amount. But here are plants that are almost universally safe. Cattails. Every part is edible. The roots taste like potatoes, the pollen can be used as flour, and the green shoots taste like cucumbers. Dandelions. Yes, those weeds in your yard. Every part is edible and nutritious. The leaves make salad, the roots can be roasted like coffee, and the flowers can be eaten raw. Acorns. Native Americans lived on these. They're super nutritious but contain bitter tannins. The solution? Crush them, soak them in running water or multiple water changes until the water runs clear. Then roast and grind into flour. Pine trees are survival gold. Pine needles make tea rich in vitamin C, more than orange juice. The inner bark can be eaten raw or cooked. Pine nuts are packed with calories and fat. For protein, insect larvae are your best bet. Grubs found under bark or in rotting. Logs are safe and nutritious. Ancient people ate them regularly. They taste nutty when roasted. Navigation, never get lost again. Ancient people navigated thousands of miles with no GPS, no maps, just observation skills. The shadow stick method tells you direction. Place a stick upright in the ground and mark where its shadow falls. Wait 15 minutes and mark where the shadow has moved to. The first mark is west, the second is east. This works because the sun moves east to west. At night, find Polaris, the North Star. It's the last star in the handle of the Little Dipper. It's always due north and never moves. Ancient sailors used this to navigate oceans. Watch moss patterns. They typically grow on the north side of trees in the northern hemisphere because it's shadier and more moist. Not foolproof, but a good indicator. Read the wind. Prevailing winds come from consistent directions based on your location. Ancient people memorized these patterns. Tools, from stone to survival. Ancient people made everything they needed from natural materials. These skills kept civilizations alive. Flint knapping creates razor-sharp cutting tools. Find flint, obsidian, or other glassy rocks. Strike them with a harder rock at the right angle, and flakes chip off with edges sharper than surgical steel. Cordage, rope and string, can be made from almost any plant fiber. Take dead plant stalks, beat them until they separate into fibers, then twist them together. Two strands twisted in opposite directions will naturally bind together into strong rope. Bone tools were everywhere in ancient sites. Sharpen animal bones by grinding them on rocks to create awls, needles, scrapers, and fish hooks. Containers can be woven from grass, reeds, or thin branches. Ancient basketry techniques create watertight containers without any modern materials. Some Native American baskets could actually hold water and be used for cooking by adding hot rocks. Hunting and trapping techniques. Ancient people were incredible hunters using primitive technology that still works today. The figure 4 deadfall trap is genius. 3 sticks arranged in a specific way create a trigger that drops a heavy log or thirsty on prey. Set this on an animal trail with bait and check it daily. Snares made from wire or strong cordage catch rabbits and small geese. Create a noose on a game trail and anchor it to a sapling bent down under tension. When an animal's head goes through, the sapling springs up, catching the animal. Fishing without modern equipment uses techniques like the fish weir. Create a V-shaped barrier in a stream with the point facing upstream. Fish swim into it and get trapped. Spears can be made by fire-hardening wooden points. Place the point in hot coals, rotating it constantly until it turns dark and hard. This creates a weapon hard enough to penetrate animal hide. Medicine from nature. Ancient people had no pharmacies but extensive knowledge of medicinal plants. Willow bark contains salicin, the natural form of aspirin. Chew it for pain relief and fever reduction. This actually works. Modern aspirin was synthesized from this compound. Yarrow stops bleeding. Crush the leaves and apply them to wounds. Ancient warriors carried this into battle. Pine resin is nature's antibiotic. Apply it to wounds to prevent infection and speed healing. It's also waterproof and can seal cuts. Plantain leaves, not the banana, the common yardweed, can be chewed and applied to insect bites and stings. The enzymes neutralize venom. Modern applications. These aren't just historical curiosities. Preppers and survivalists use these techniques today. Military survival training teaches many of these ancient skills. If you're ever stuck in your car in a snowstorm, knowing how to make a debris shelter could save your life. If you're hiking and get lost, making fire without matches could prevent hypothermia. These skills connect us to our ancestors and remind us that humans are incredibly adaptable and resourceful. These primitive skills kept humans alive for 200,000 years before civilization. They're not obsolete. They're essential knowledge that could save your life in an emergency. Modern technology is amazing, but it can fail. These ancient techniques never fail if you know how to do them correctly. If you want to learn more survival techniques, hit that subscribe button. I'm creating a whole series on ancient skills that still work. Comment, which skill are you going to practice first? And what other primitive techniques do you want to see? Next video, ancient secrets modern science just discovered. Prepare to have your mind blown. Our ancestors were survival experts. Their knowledge is our inheritance. Thanks for watching, and stay wild.